probably the middle of 2002, found myself a little bit more out of breath than usual going up the stairs. So I went to see my primary care physician, and he said, you know, it's probably nothing, but why don't we go get a chest x-ray anyway? And so I blithely went off to get a chest x-ray at one of the local places, and was getting dressed after they took the films. And the technician came back and she said, radiologist would like to see you. And I thought, that's not usually the response I get. It's usually, oh, you can get dressed and go home. And so I was ushered into the radiologist's office, and he had the films up there on the fluorescent screens. And he said to me, he said, and these were literally his words, "Your lungs look like hell." And he showed me the white cloudiness over all of my lungs. And he said, "I think you've got idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. It unfortunately doesn't have any effective treatment. There's no known cause. And looking at your lungs, you've probably got 18 months to 2 years to live without a transplant." And you know, that's the kind of thing you typically read about in the newspapers. It always happens to other people, but not to you. And it was kind of a sobering message for somebody, as I say, who'd been extremely healthy my entire life, never smoked. So things went from there.
I was at home with my parents, and I tried to lay down to go to sleep. And every time I would lay down, I would hear a gurgling in my throat when I opened my mouth. And I just wasn't sure what that was. And I felt a crushing on my chest, and it was like I was drowning. So I got up and I told my parents, I said, "I don't feel well." So they took me to the emergency room, and they said, "We're going to diagnose you with idiopathic cardiomyopathy because it's the weakening of the heart muscle. Clearly, that's what's wrong. We don't know why this happened, but this is what's wrong. So the treatment for that is to put you on medication and to put you on a blood thinner." So we did this, and in the process, they have to do an angiogram. So I went down, I did the angiogram, which is they go into the groin, you know, and they go up and down. So I did the angiogram. I'm waking up from the procedure, and immediately I know something is wrong. I don't know what, but I know something is wrong. I don't feel right. So the nurse comes in, and she says, "What's wrong?" I said, "I don't know." So she starts to take my blood pressure, but I feel the sense of urgency and pain, you know, and I said, and I had to grab her. She wasn't listening to me, and I had to grab her and say, "It is not my blood pressure. Something is wrong." So all I can remember after that is a team of doctors flying in, and I pass out. So I wake up back in intensive care, and I said, "What is going on?" And they said, "You had a heart attack."
I was always, you know, I'll start off even before that, I was always in the gym, I was always working out, I was always doing something active, and you know, I felt great. I felt like $1,000,000 up to, I'm trying to think, the day, it was January 7, 2007. I got out of work at 2 in the morning. I was held over a little bit on a call, which was no big deal. I went home, I think I ate a sandwich, went to bed, and about 5 o'clock in the morning I woke up and I thought I was coming down with something. And went back to bed. I think I might have grabbed something to eat, went back to bed. And I intermittently remember just kind of blurs of sitting on my couch, staring at the ceiling. But after that, I remember waking up. I gotta say, it was a week and a half to 2 weeks later. I remember looking up, and there was some sort of light above me. And there was a male nurse dressed in green asking me to squeeze his hands as hard as I can, first the right, then the left. And then he had told me that, asked me where I was. "You know where you are?" "No, I don't." "Well, you're at Strong Memorial in Rochester, New York." Then he had told me, or asked me, do you know why you're here?" My response was, no, I don't. And he said, well, you just received a liver transplant.
I was in the hospital. They admitted me permanently in November. And so I was there for Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, my 25th birthday. And finally, on February 9th, 2004, 4 nurses walked into my room. And they said, we don't want you to get excited, but we might have a heart for you. And I said, okay. And then I said, oh my God, right? So I called my parents and I said, Daddy, it's here. And he said, what's here? I said, my heart. And he said, wow.
Within a week, I got the call saying there were lungs available. I was flown to Cleveland. I got a police escort from the airport with all the flashing lights and so forth, which might have been exciting under different circumstances. And then I had a 10-hour surgery to install what at that time at least, and I don't know what's happened since, but at that time that was the largest pair of lungs that the Cleveland Clinic had ever transplanted. And it's been a miracle ever since.
Basically, I was set to die on January 8th, 2007, but because of a decision someone made that I don't know, I don't know these people, I don't know where they live, I don't know their background, where they come from, but they were so unselfish that they actually signed away for the loss of a loved one and for someone else to receive that person's organs. So here I am today because of that.
Right. Every minute of every day. I don't not think about my heart transplant. I don't ever not think about it. Sometimes I'm driving home and I'm like, I have somebody else's heart in me right now. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? You know, so I would thank them till I couldn't thank them anymore, you know? It's just, how can you thank somebody, you know? It's just nothing you can do or say. But I would definitely want to have them in my life to see the things that I'm doing. I'm an inspirational speaker. I'm trying to get other people to donate. You know, I'm trying to get people to stay healthy and make healthier choices. And I'm doing that, I'm living that. And that's because of them.
As I was getting sicker in the months before my transplant, and I think, while I was optimistic, perhaps, that I would get a transplant, I was also realistic, knowing that conceivably I wasn't going to be one of the fortunate ones to get an organ. I wrote letters to every member of my family to be delivered in the event that I didn't make it. And I wrote one to that 9-month-old grandson to share my thoughts about life in general, the kind of letter that perhaps would be meaningful as he grew up. And I talked about the regrets that I had in not having a chance to be with him as he grew up. And in particular, I shared the fact that I was sorry that I wouldn't be with him when he boarded that orange school bus on the first day of school. And what was remarkable, of course, was that when he boarded that bus for his first day of kindergarten, I was there with my camera and able to record that. And that's one of the photos that I share with the students that I talk to that hopefully brings home exactly what it means to get the gift of life.